Hi my friend, welcome to this video that is all about diet in our little series that is called Feeling Better Every Day. So as I've learnt on my path from being sick ever since I was very small and all the way to now, diet does play an enormous role in the way we feel on all levels really, not just physically but also mentally and emotionally. So I've mentioned before in some of my videos that if you are highly evolved enough, it really doesn't matter what you eat, because you are so highly evolved that nothing really affects you anymore. But we have not reached that level yet as humans, so we have to focus our attention on what we actually are putting into our mouth, and what of the foods that we are eating that maybe are causing a lot of harm. So you see, and as I've mentioned before, that I'm very much a proponent of the carnivore diet, or an animal-based diet where you have meat and eggs and milk products. There are people on this planet who do well on only plants, and so who can live on a vegan diet. And that is a very individual thing, and as I see it, I think if you have genetics from the tropical area of the world, so maybe your ancestors come from Africa or Asia, somewhere where it's warm most of the year, you have evolutionarily been through a process, or your cells, the cells that you have in your body, they have adapted to a lot of plants in your diet. And so some people on this planet are eating only from the plant kingdom and are doing very well. And some people just cannot do that. So they do not have the ability to draw the nutrients from the plants to keep them well nourished. And I think it's the majority of people. But this is really something you have to figure out with yourself as you go, and all you really need to do is experiment. So, but we can say generally that this is to have a diet that is really promoting health in your body is to have a whole foods diet. So a diet where you eat real food. So that is just one very basic principle that really helps all people. So the more we shy away from processed foods, the better we are going to feel. And some people can handle the fiber in plants and some people can't. So if you sense that if you've had a few days where you have maybe only meat and fat and salt and water, and you can feel how everything calms down, that is your body signaling to you that this is the state of the current affairs in your body, and so this is what brings most healing right now. So, and in some months or maybe years you might be able to eat all plants because you have healed so much. So yeah, we'll go into the gut, but I just want to mention here, when we're talking about removing things from our diet, I think it's really important to not be dogmatic. And I've mentioned that before. If you feel like drinking coffee, drink coffee. If you feel like drinking tea, drink tea. If you are in a process of healing and you're going out and you with your friends and you just want to relax and eat whatever they eat, I think it's important to really relax in this process. But you will notice that if you have been on a very clean diet and you have done some very deep healing, you might not be able to eat a lot of the different foods that you're not used to. I had an experience the other day where I did that and I felt really sick. So, but having a little cup of coffee, having a little piece of cake will usually not really make you sick. So I think this whole approach to diet has to be very loving and very peaceful, and to not judge ourselves or judge others on what we do, just to really relax in the process. So the whole thing about animal foods and plant foods is, as I see it, it's a genetic thing, but it is also really a gut thing. So our digestive tract, the more damaged it is, the less it can tolerate plants. And the more healed it is, and the better all our microbes are in our gut, the better we can manage all sorts of foods. As you know, from, if you know about the GAPS diet, which I have mentioned, where Natasha Campbell-McBride, she healed her son of autism, who was very, very sick when he was little, and she healed him completely with a diet of mainly meats and some very well cooked vegetables. And so what she really proves, and thousands of people have done this now, what she's teaching us is that the gut, if it is not healed, if it is leaky and it is inflamed, our brain will be inflamed and leaky, and we will be sick in all sorts of ways. And some people have a lot of mental things, but not so much physical, and some people have only physical ailments. But that really all this sickness really comes down to the fact that our gut is inflamed and it's leaky. And what is it that actually heals up the guts so that it's not leaky anymore? Well, that is animal products. So, and meat stock, and some people can take the bone broth, but so in the carnivore community, people are really proving that just eating meat and whatever fat there is on that meat, some salt and some water, you will also heal up your gut. So you can say about the GAPS diet and the carnivore diet, the GAPS diet is a very it's quite a difficult process to go through, and you have to have an enormous amount of resources to understand the process, and it can be too difficult for some people, and I know from myself, I think it was just too difficult. Whereas the carnivore diet is really just eat all animal products, see how you feel. If nothing really is happening, go down to eating just the meat, and preferably ruminant meat. So that is lamb and beef and veal, all these ruminant animals, their meat. Make sure you have plenty of fat with it, and salt and water. And if you find that this is really what makes you feel best, that's really what that is your body, which is always signaling to us what it wants. If it makes you feel good, makes you feel better, that's what your body wants. And it wants it for a period of time, and that's where when you've felt good for a while, you can start bringing in other foods, and that is simply because your gut is healing. So an important thing, if you are going into this process of the carnivore diet, which I have found, is that there is actually a great difference between minced meat, ground up meat, and real meat. And so I experienced a big difference when I had real meat. So meat that is in its whole form. So, and I was able to get these big slabs of really nice tender meat, and I just what I did was I had this big piece of meat, there was no bones on it, and I could just cut up these steaks, and so I had it in a big bag where I put some olive oil and some apple cider vinegar, some salt and maybe some pepper, and I just sort of massaged it all over the meat, and I could have it in the fridge for a whole week or more, because the marinade would keep it fresh. And so I just got it out of the bag, cut off 2 big slabs, and I would hit it with my meat hammer and throw it on the pan, on a very hot pan with a lot of tallow. And I had my 2 big steaks for the day, and apart from that I had egg yolks and some honey and some other things. So just noticing, if ground beef is fine for you, that's good, but if not, you might have to have the real meat. So there's no doubt that when you look at the carnivore community that people are cleansing away inflammation from their body and from their brain. There's no doubt. It's proven thousands of times. You see pictures of people who are very inflamed to being very good looking and very healthy looking, and they say themselves that they feel mentally better than they have done for many years. So this is really proof that when the body is inflamed, it is sick. And when the inflammation is cleansed out of the body gets well, the mind gets well. And we don't have to think so much. That is what is very beautiful about the carnivore diet, is that you don't really have to think very much, because you will eat till you're full, and you will not really be able to eat too much. So all the healthy signals will start coming from your body, that this is when I need to eat, this is when I need to stop, oh, I need more fat. You will feel it. You don't have to think it so much. And the fact that all these animal products, they have all the nutrients that we need in any way, also makes this whole journey very, very, very simple and very relaxing, really. Because as you know, we can go, when we're not well, we can go to hundreds of doctors, and we can do tests for thousands of dollars, maybe millions of dollars, depending on how much money you have. It's very expensive. And all these different blood tests never really show the real picture, because it's only really in the moment where it was taken. And we can also spend thousands of dollars on supplements which really are not natural. Whereas when you do the carnivore way, you are really giving your food the most bioavailable and most nutrient dense that you will ever get and ever find. And there's nothing unnatural about it, especially if you're getting it from animals that have lived a healthy life. So this is really, I think, if you're not feeling well and you want to start somewhere, this is a really good place to start. So we're going to do our little exercise before we speak anymore. So if you like, close your eyes. And just sink into your belly. Take your attention like a big rock that just goes boom, down, down, down. Breathing slow, long, deep breaths. And you can let this rock fall all the way down to the bottom of your feet. Boom. Bring your awareness to the bottom of your feet. Feel your toes wriggling. And sense how you're connected to the earth. You are this physical being. As well as a spiritual being. You are a little part of Mother Earth. her processes of life. All the elements are in you, the fire, the water, the air, the minerals, and the ether. You are all that, as well as spirit. And this process that we are in is really bringing our awareness to it all. Allowing it all to flow together in one whole, magnificent organism. If we try to separate something and just focus on only that, true well-being will not come. We need to allow that all the parts of us are allowed to flow together and cooperate. Getting to feel better is not just the food we eat. It is so much more. And we trust that all that we need to understand will come to us in divine order. And while you're breathing deeply, just have a feel. How do you feel in this moment? All this diet talk can be really, really exhausting. Many of us have tried many different things, and we still feel that we are healing. But we can remind ourselves that we don't need to understand this on an intellectual level. We can just let our body guide us, our intuition. So just trust that the doctor we really need is within us. The guide we need is within us. And we will be inspired from within to go and listen to something, go and read something, and just have a sense of what food feels right for us. We will know. And every time we give ourselves the food that our body wants, our well-being grows. We feel better and better. By just breathing in and out, slow and long. Allowing every part of your body to just be soft and open. Sending ourselves lots of compassion and respect. We can say to ourselves, you're doing beautifully, right where you are. And when you're ready, open your eyes and come back. To this little video. So as I mentioned, diet is a really, really big part of addressing the inflammation in our body, the different ailments we might have when we give it the right food and we give our bodies also the right amount of time to just fast and have nothing to eat, drink water. The more we do what our body wants, the better we're going to feel. And this brings me to just the rest of this video, which is really how food is a cultural thing, and it is actually very deep in us, that what we ate when we was little, what we ate in our community, where we came from, all the moments of pleasure and joy were all really revolved around food, and how this is can be really hard for us to let go of, and for many of us we have to let go of it more or less completely. And so this is just to shine a little light on this. So in a way we can say it's the ego, all the culture, and all that we have learnt, that this is cozy and this is lovely and this is joyful when we sit and eat this together. It is the conditioned self, whereas our spirit self is the one that wishes that we get to feel amazing. Our spirit is not interested in us holding on to something we used to do because we liked it and we loved it. Our spirit is interested in that we get to function really, really well, and that we might have to do do things that feel very, very strange. So our spirit is guiding us to dare to step out of what maybe is holding us back, and to step into the new and the unknown. And that can feel scary. But once we start doing it, and we realize how good we get to feel, we sort of get the hang of it, and we realize that what we felt was so enjoyable before was really something that in a way was burdening us. And so there's a very fine balance here, but what I think is in your daily life to really, really be honest towards yourself. And depending on how much healing you need to do, you might need to detach yourself from even the people you might be living with and just do your own meal. And although they think it's strange, they think it's irritating, if that's that's what you need to do to really do some deep healing, I think that's a good way to go. And people around you are not going to drop dead. They're just going to have to do their own food, and give you the peace and quiet to do what you need to do. So I think, of course, if we have children, we have to make sure they have nice food and healthy food. But I think it's good to really ask deep within what feels right for me and just be brave and do it. And so it is our daily, the way we live in our daily life, 24/7, the way we structure our life, the way we eat. This is what is really going to either be very healing or very destructive. So I feel I'm still learning this, but I feel that although I might be doing things that people feel are very strange around me, it's actually very fruitful to just be yourself. Just do what you naturally want to do. And if that means do your own meals and sit and eat on your own, do that. And although it can feel really awkward and you feel you should do so much more, or you're leaving a whole lot of responsibility, just try it. And because you'll see that by you changing the way you are, the world around you will actually find new ways that are very refreshing for themselves. So the more everybody gets to just be who they are in their raw, natural form, the more we're all going to heal. So life is going to change maybe a real lot, and if you dare to make a step in that direction that is really, really good for you, everybody else will find it easier for them too. So, and when we go out, and also when we see other people, what they eat, I think it's incredibly important to not judge them. We can inspire, say something maybe if they're open, but otherwise try not. I think it's hard myself, because when I see people who are very unwell, I usually say eat some more meat. I just say eat some more meat, and don't be afraid of fat. And then I try to be quiet. But if we're going out somewhere, have a little bit of that food, and just as much as we can feel we can eat, and don't make a big thing of our diet. So if we're trying to get attention through our diet, it's not healthy for anyone. So this was about diet and about being nourished, and how when we have mainly animal foods, we don't have to do all the blood tests, we don't have to really worry, because even vitamin D that many are talking about we should have in supplement form. Dr. Paul Mason from Australia, I just listened to the other day, and he said if you have a lot of saturated fat from animals, your vitamin D levels will go up and be normal. So it is really amazing and really so simple. So I'll finish this video now, and I wish you a wonderful day. See you next time. Bye.